down onto your back in Sukhasana. Eyes closed, bite soft. Pay attention to your breath and let that breath draw your attention inward. Allowing all the busyness of the mind to become like a white noise in the background, sinking deeper into the inside of your skin, the sensation of muscle on bone, bone light and strong. Feeling the movement of breath through your body, blood through the body, beat of the heart. Sinking into this intention for your asana practice, sthiram sukham asanam. Yoga posture is strong where it needs to be, at ease where it needs to be. Yoga posture allows you to relax your grip on the coming and going, the changing nature of things, in order to sink into the infinity of pure awareness. The practice of yoga posture leads to the state of moksha, liberation, where the assault of oppositions ceases. And meditation begins. Let your breath encompass your movement. Let your breath be the tool that draws you into abhyasa, the effort of staying present, of vairagya, the commitment to releasing distraction and returning moment by moment to that breath, to your focus, to your practice. From here, with that intention, with awareness on your breath, start to wiggle your fingers and toes, rock your head gently side to side. Layer on the sensation of movement. And then on your next inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Take that big, full-bodied stretch, just like you do first thing in the morning. Feel deep, thick muscle, hug light, strong bone. Stretch a little more through the left, and then a little more through the right. And then one more big breath in as long and strong as you can, right through the toes, and let that go. Gorgeous. Take one knee up towards your chest, followed by the other. Cup the knees with your hands, hook your thumbs, and extend the arms out to straight, letting your legs be heavy. Before layering on effort, take out tension. Begin at ease. Low back is spacious. Thigh bones sink heavy and soft into the hip joint. Jaw is soft, throat is open. Breath moves freely and easily into the back ribs, feeling like the breath almost moves right into the low back, swirls into the pelvic floor. Two more breaths here. As you come into the next exhale, letting go of your knees, leaving them stacked over your hips. Bring the shins up parallel to the floor. Rest your arms at your sides. Legs are hip width apart. Feel free to slip the fingers underneath your low back to give you a little extra feedback. You should feel the low ribs anchored towards the floor with a little space in the mid-back. Keeping in mind that any shape that the spine can take is fine. No right or wrong. Simply that this is the most spinal preserving position. This is the position your spine will be in as you start to ask your body to move. So efficient to have the spine in neutral and the core capable of holding in this place. A couple more breaths here. Shoulders are relaxed, low back ribs anchored, low belly on, feeling the tailbone want to reach up and touch the back of the pubic bone. Good. On your next few breaths, starting to add this extension of the leg. As you exhale, reach and stretch out that leg like we just did a moment ago. Tap on the floor if you get that far, and then come back up. Good. Exhaling, switching the legs. Inhaling to come back to that center point. Awesome. Focus is solely on the stability of the core, the flow of the breath, the movement through hip and knee. Good. As your body starts to adapt to this movement, feel free to add your arms, turning this into dead bug. Arms reaching up and overhead, opposite arm and leg reaching out away from each other. Good. Attention stays centered on those low back ribs, the arc of the spine, the curl up of the tailbone. Breath encompassing the movement. Always your motivation, your intention here is to find that posture. Strong where you need to be, at ease where you need to be, capable of focusing without being distracted. Good. Feel free to continue here or become a bit more nonlinear, moving arms and legs around in less predictable patterns and feeling the core respond to that. For 4, 3, 2, wherever you are, freeze, hold, breathe, and move. 1. Perfect. Plant your feet on the floor, glue your toes together, heels together, knees together, thighs together. Make it like you have one solid leg. The heels might come apart, that's fine. Squeeze thighs together. If knees are making contact, knees together. And take your attention to the shape of your spine staying neutral and letting that run right through to the pressing of the thighs. You can dial the intensity of that up or down as you like, as long as you feel pressure between the thighs enough that you feel those adductors, the muscles that draw the legs together, that add them up. As long as you feel those on, keeping your attention on breath moving through that stability right through your core from mid-heart all the way to the knees. Start to lift your hips, keeping the thighs pressing together, keeping the spine in the same shape. Use the biggest muscles in your body to help, the quadriceps at the top of the leg, by kicking the feet a little bit away from your heels, from your shoulders, pardon me. Using the glutes, the butt muscles, holding that money between those butt cheeks. Tailbone reaching for the knees. Good. Moderate, play with the amount of squeeze you put in between the thighs. Less or more, less or more. And then feel free to stay up here, develop this static endurance. Just breath, holding the pose. Or become a little more dynamic, moving the hips up and down. Feeling the sensation of that happening because you are opening and closing the front of the hip, not because you are collapsing in the low back. And you want to lift the hips just to that point right before you feel like you'd have to pull the legs apart in order to go higher. So it's not a lot of motion. Awesome. 3. Breath encompasses the movement. Strong where you need to be. At ease where you need to be. Awesome. On your next exhale, finishing that movement and then setting the hips back down. Beautiful. Bring the knees up over your hips, cup those kneecaps with your hands, hook the thumbs, arms out. Resting recovery. Abhyasha, Vairagya. Do the thing here do the thing that's here for you to do. Let go of the rest. This moment, constantly align and realign your attention to this breath. Let go of the last one. Don't anticipate the next one. Here, now. Second set, stack your knees up over your hips, shins parallel to the floor. This time, if you like, fingertips behind the back of the head, lifting head and shoulders up away from the floor. Think about the head and shoulders, rather than curling towards your thigh bones, lifting upward towards the sky a little bit. Yeah, if you can, the full shoulder blade comes up off the mat, or maybe just the tips of the shoulder blades touching the floor. Good. Once you come up, let the head rest a little bit in your fingers so you know you're lifting from the core rather than straining through the neck. Good. You should still be able to stay up just as high, but the head is released. Awesome. You will find if you curl the tip of the tailbone slightly to point upward. Yeah, good. Almost everybody moved a little bit deeper. Perfect. Starting to extend the leg on the exhale. Inhaling to come back to that center point. Switching legs, extend. Good. Please feel free to lift and lower the head and shoulders if that becomes a little much, to just hold them. Good. And with this deep stability through the core, deep strength through Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, lots of mobility and freedom through the hips. Feel free to turn this into a bicycle. So as the right leg extends out, right shoulder and left knee press in towards each other. And then you inhale back to the center shape and exhale, switch sides. Perfect. Be in no hurry. Take that inhale to pause in that center space. Good. Be undistracted. 3 or 4 more breaths, no rush. Modify that as you like. Awesome. Let's do one more. Make sure you finish off on the opposite side that you started on, so you've done an equal number. Sweet. Beautiful. As soon as you're finished, no rush. Plant your feet on the floor a little wider than hip width apart. Good. Arms rest at your sides. Turn on those glutes. Press gently into the feet, a little bit like you're pressing the heel towards the toe. And then start to lift your hips. Good. All movement is initiated with the breath. Is deepened through the breath. Is released through the breath. Good. Feel free to stay here, working on the endurance of this stable posture. Knees are hugging towards each other just a little, like you're holding a balloon between them, just so that the glutes don't start to override and pull the knees apart. Or Start to add some motion. That lifting and sinking of the hips is great. Or use the tip of your tailbone like the end of a paintbrush and just start to draw figures with the tip of the tailbone. So that motion, again, should mostly happen through the hips. You'll feel your waist, your core, your belly and back respond, but lead the motion with the tailbone itself. Circles, figure eights, lines up and down, lines side to side, any kind of motion you like. As slowly as you like, the slower, the more attention you can give to it, and the smaller or bigger, depending on what you're looking to go for. You've got 4 more breaths here. Perfect. As you come into this final breath for this movement, recenter your hips, sink them back down to the floor, gently take knees up towards your chest. And just give them enough of a hug that it feels like a little release through the low back. Feel free to take the knees a little bit wider to take that stretch a little bit differently. Beautiful. Rock yourself up to seated. Set those toes at the back edge of your mat. Good. You can flip the toes under and stretch the base of the feet if you like, or just sitting over the heels. Reach your arms high to the sky. Good. And start with breath. The throat and neck are neutral, relaxed. Arms can be as wide as you like in order to feel that happen. Elbows can be a little bent if you like in order to feel yourself be able to let go of any tension through the neck. Front and back. Good. From here, feel the very tips of the shoulder blades draw a little further apart and upward. The full shoulder blade starts to tip out and up into the shoulder. The back of the shoulders becomes very strong. Deltoid muscles turn on. Armpits open. And then start to feel the arms maybe even spiraling a little bit, externally rotating a little bit. Knobby part of the elbow turning forward. Awesome. Reach a little more strongly through the pinky finger. Let the thumbs reach a little bit backward. Good. And then tune into whether you're pushing the ribs outward into the front of the skin. Reset the spine into a neutral shape. Reset any movement that's happened in the neck to create tension. And then go back into feeling the strength of reaching arms as though you're puncturing the ceiling with your fingertips. Good. Breathing for 3. Sit and reach. Yeah, good. 2. 1. Nice. Now loosen up on the strictness of this reach. Start to twist through the arms like you're screwing and unscrewing a light bulb in the ceiling. Feel the movement come through all of the finger joints. Fluid arcs of movement through those finger joints, wrists, forearms, upper arms, into the shoulders, into the shoulder blades, which will start to protract and retract. Soften through the spine so that it can stay pretty neutral. Soften through the arc that makes the ribs push out so that they can come back in. And just feel that motion through the arms. Wider arms or bent elbows is fine. For 3. Good. Breath initiates and feeds the movement. 2. Thank you. 1. Awesome. And let the arms come down. Move into tabletop shape. Good. Feel free to tent the fingers onto the floor, gripping the floor a little bit to create hasta bandha, the lock in the center of the hand like a suction cup. Feel free to set down the full palm at any point in time when the finger joints get fatigued. From here, moving through cat-cow, and start really minimal. Dial that up to like a 3 on a scale of 10. Just feel the mid-back start to float upward. Feel the spine start to spread, the back of the neck grow long, the head be heavy. Right before that point where you really feel like you're flexing through the front body. And then switch from that into just allowing the belly to sink towards the floor. You'll feel the hips kind of tip forward around the front of the front of the thigh bone, pardon me. Tailbone tips up, heart opens, front ribs are relaxed. Maybe the chin comes off the throat a little bit. Cool. And then from there, start to move through the depth of that. Mid-back lifting, feeling the front core grow stronger in order to make the back core grow a little longer. Get a sense of how you can use the breath to open up the back body. And then when you reverse, as the belly sinks, how can you use the breath to spread apart the front body, feeling the tailbone moving away from your navel, feeling your navel sink from the heart. Feeling the heart move forward, the throat open, the chin lift. Gently feeling the back body start to grow a little stronger in order to help you open the front body. Any pain or sensation you just back out of, that's a good bit of feedback for you about where you can apply pressure along your spine and where you need to be more gentle. Strong where you need to be. At ease where you need to be. Just keep moving between those two shapes. For 4. Good. 3. Yeah, nice. 2. 1. Lovely. Sit back over your heels. Rest in child pose. Especially if you were tenting the fingers, please feel free to make fists and then release. Make fists and then release a few times. Just get some mobility back into those hard-working finger muscles. Good. Breath flows freely and easily through the back ribs as though it flows right into your low back. As though it spreads across the sacrum, right into the glutes, right into the pelvic floor. Last 2. And 1. Perfect. Bring yourself back up to tabletop. Tent the fingers if you like. Moving through pipe roll. Keeping the hips as best as you can stacked over top of the knees. Strong, straight arms to start to build that strength in the elbows as well. Shoulders stay stacked over the wrists. So this motion is initiated in the core itself. The hips and shoulders will move, but try to keep them stacked over the wrists and knees. Here we go. Let's start from cow. Sink the belly towards the floor. Spread the front ribs, spread the front body, broaden across the collarbones. And then from here, start to take that spread out towards the left. So sending the ribs left, spreading out into the left side ribs, left shoulder and hip draw away from each other as you sweep those ribs around the left edge of this pipe, coming up towards the top. Good. As you come upward, you basically move yourself up into cat. Good. Finding that neutral lift through the spine left and right, and then starting to spread out into the right ribs. Right shoulder and hip spread away from each other. Taking that stretch deep into the intercostals between the ribs, sweeping downward along the right edge of that pipe and to the floor. And then just keep going with your breath. Good. Easing up on that intensity anywhere where you feel that there's discomfort, right? Good. The core works for your stability. We move through this level of mobility to release any tension. Good. The next time your belly comes down towards that cow shape, switch your direction. Nice. Bite is soft. Breath is easily flowing through the body. No problem. If not, change the shape of the posture. Good. One more. Nice. The next time you're in cow shape, belly towards the floor, there's no rush. Next time you're there, get back into the neutral shape of your spine and sit back into child pose. Reaching the arms forward. They can be nice and wide if you like, laying along the long edges of your mat. You can squeeze and release fists a few times. Beautiful. Starting into the first flow. Hands, fingers, wrists, arms, shoulders, spine, core, hips, knees, even ankles and into the feet, all warmed up. Now let's start to flow. As you exhale, reach the arms forward, grab hold of the mat, lift your head to look between the thumbs. Use your body weight as resistance, grab hold of the mat and pull that resisting weight up so that you feel the shoulder blades have to anchor into the back, the arms work. Once shoulders are over wrists, shift to the push. Plank the body, core is strong and stable, lower yourself to the mat. Beautiful. Good. Once the tailbone can anchor into the floor, giving you a little more space in the low back, start to move through cobra. Chin and shoulders floating up away from the floor, opening and spreading through the throat, across the collarbones, into the upper ribs. Inhaling to come up, exhaling to come back down. Good. And if your back bend doesn't involve this movement, that is fine. Once you land on the belly, you can stack palm down, and rest your chin on those. Or maybe one stacked fist, maybe two stacked fists. That's totally fine. 3 or 4 more breaths here. Attention is on your breath. What's the quality of the shape you're taking? Good. On your next exhale, release that action, just soften into the floor. Good. You're switching from back bending action to push. So you want to just let that go. And then push up onto hands and knees. Sit back over your heels. Take your time. You might need an extra breath into that. That's fine. 2 breaths here. Be in this breath. 1. Gorgeous. The next exhale you come into, lift your head, look towards your thumbs, grab hold of the mat. And then as you inhale, pull that resisting weight. Dial that up or down as you're ready for. Starting to build that pull action into the body. Once your shoulders are over the wrists, lower. Good. Oh my gosh, you guys, beautiful. Okay, once your belly is on the floor, tailbone is heavy into the mat. Inhaling in and out of cobra pose. Now add that pull action into cobra. The hand sinks into the floor and presses back towards the toes in order to help you feel as though you're pulling the heart forward and up. Feel the elbows reaching to the tailbone. Dial that intensity up or down as the body is ready. Hopefully you start to feel some fatigue through the forearms, through the wrist, even through the grip in the hand, building up the strength of that pull action. Good. Feel free to layer on legs here one at a time. One leg will lift with the heart and lower. Good. See if you can get the sensation of letting your glute lift the leg rather than just the hamstring. See if you can quiet down the back of the knee joint, almost as though from your mid-thigh down just doesn't work. And you have to lift that leg from where the thigh bone connects into your hip. Just see if you can do it. It doesn't matter how high the leg comes, it matters the quality of the lift. Good, just a couple more. As the lifting of the legs starts to become more natural, more integrated, going back to gripping and pressing through the hands, heart moving forward and up. Integrating the cow part of cat-cow. Yes. On your next exhale, letting go of that whole action, relaxing to the floor, and then pressing up onto hands and knees, sit back over your heels. Good. Once you're there, exhale everything you've got. Breath comes right through the low back. And then just let that breath go as you look forward, grab hold of the mat, pull yourself up. Last one. Up through hands and knees as you pull. Good. Make sure the belly is on and strong. Tailbone is towards the floor as you lower. Yes, better. Yep. Good, Morgan, nice. Good, and then once you're there, now starting to move into deeper versions of this back bend. If you're ready, both legs lifting, moving up through Shalavasana. Feel free to stay in that lifted position, working on the endurance of the back body, working the front body, lengthening. Heart and toes reaching away from each other. Hands pressing in order to bring the heart forward and up. Feel the heart sink into the breastbone. Feel the space between the shoulder blades sink towards the spine. The spine go deeper into the body, towards the front, helping to spread that front line while it strengthens the back line. Yeah, move in and out of that posture as much as you like. If you're ready for it, you can start to add toes working towards the forehead, really adding full use of the back line of the body. Take your time, let your breath guide the action. Determine the quality of the shape you want to take, as well as what qualities you want that shape to take. Yes. Toes working towards the forehead, also forehead coming up and back towards the toes. You can play with the action of pressing into the hands, working the arms towards straight, which would rock you off the tailbone more into your thighs. Play with that shape if you like. Last two. Breathe. One. Gorgeous. Let yourself out of that shape, out of that movement. Relax. And then press up and back into downward dog. Toes flip under. Good. Nice deep squat through the legs, or as much of a squat as you need. Reset the feet so it fits your hip shape. And you want to move towards this sense that you've got an even amount of weight in hands and feet. So not more weight in the hands. If you feel that, move the feet a little closer to the hands and sit back and up into the hips a little bit more, like you're trying to sit on the back wall. Good, just a couple more breaths here. You should, in this stage of down dog, actually be able to re-tent those fingers and stay in the shape with tented fingers. If it feels like way too much weight on the fingers, then see if you can sit back into the hips a little more. Last one. Gorgeous. Feel free to replant the hands if you tried that, and then shift to hovering tabletop. Hold for 3. I like to throw in a little straight-armed push-up here, if you like. Protracting, retracting through the shoulder blades. 2. Yeah. 1. Fascinating. Go back into the down dog. Good, we're in no hurry. Your breath dictates time. Hovering tabletop for 3. 2. 1. Good, sitting back into down dog. Lovely. This time we'll transition. So shift from down dog into that hovering tabletop, and then step or hop your feet up into that squat. As wide of a squat as you like, as deep through the hips as you like, as long as the spine feels nice and neutral, the low belly feels on and strong. Good, and then heart and arms come high to the sky, pull the hips through, forward, and arms come down. Good, take a moment here in Samasthiti to just check the shape of the feet, lengthen up through the spine. You've got lots of work opening up the front body, opening up the back body. Breathe into that for 2. Good. 1. Gorgeous. As you come into your next inhale, root your feet through the floor and start to reach your arms high to the sky. We're going to do that 3 times. As you exhale, the arms start to come back down. Wrap the movement in the breath 2 more times. Good. If you happen to have a quicker breath, just reach the arms up, stay there and breathe. Awesome. On your next exhale, arms reached up, exhale and squat back. Bring the hands forward, ready to catch your weight as you fall. Good. Feel the core on. Feel the heart up so that it's in line with the hips. Good. As you exhale, fall forward, catch your weight. Good, and then just push yourself back onto your feet. Beautiful. Fall forward, try to tap your forehead. Catch and tap, push back. Beautiful. One more time. Fall forward, tap the forehead. And push back. Perfect. Plant your hands under your shoulders, step back into plank pose. Knees down is totally fine for 3. Again, straight arm push-ups, kind of fun to do here. 2. 1. Gorgeous. Knees down is great. Lower your body to the floor. Solid plank. Awesome. You've got 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 breaths, depending on how quickly you're breathing, to move yourself either in and out of or towards that deeper back bend. Good. Give yourself lots of time with back bends, because they're delicious. Nice. Any variations too on this theme that you feel like you want to try is great. Let's do a couple more breaths here. Good. And then on your next exhale, just let go of that action. Press up and back into downward dog. Beautiful. Reset the feet as you need so that you can squat back deeply. As deep of a bend in the knees as you need so you feel the spine totally neutral. Awesome. Let's get into your ankles. From this nice comfortable down dog, lift the heels straight up and over the toes, keeping the toes on the floor as you can, right into the ball of the foot. Good. And then sink the heels back down. Awesome. Play with this position of letting the knees collapse inward, letting the ankles collapse inward, taking the weight a little more into the inner arch of the foot through the inner ankle, and then lifting and lowering the heels from there. And then letting the ankles bow outward, the knees open up, weight goes into the pinky edge, arch of the foot. Play with lifting and lowering the heels there. Some of your ankles will be ready for that, some of yours won't. So listen to your body, play with it, don't force it. Good, come back to a neutral ankle and shift into hovering tabletop for 2. And 1. Awesome, sit back into downward dog. Still with that nice deep bend in the knee, being soft to the spine. Maybe letting the heels be a little heavier now that you've gotten a little more into the ankle. Shift into hovering tabletop. Good. Good, good, good. Sit back. So good. All right, hovering tabletop to transition into the squat. Step or hop. Good. Forearms to thighs, spine is nice and neutral. Amazing. Heart and arms come high to the sky. Pull the hips through. Yes. And then arms down. Good. As you inhale, feet root, reach high. Inhale. Exhale, come into that squat, ready to catch your weight. Beautiful. Fall to the left. Catch, tap, and come back up. Good. Fall to the right. Catch, tap. Good. Fall forward, tap your chin. Oh, amazing. Good. Plant your hands, step back to plank pose. Just for one. Once you're there, nice deep breath. As you exhale, lower your body to the floor. Awesome. 4, 5, 6 breaths. Explore your back bend, working towards either bow pose, grabbing the back of the feet, or the front of the foot, I guess it is, back there, or working towards up dog, or some other creative version of the back bend. It's all good. 3, 2, get strong feet here too. Work those feet. 1. Fantastic. Release that back bend and then move back into your downward dog. Deep squatted down dog, and we'll start to work into the back of the leg. See if you can keep the low back and the hips, the tailbone exactly where they are as you start to press your right heel into the floor. Make that stretch work through the leg rather than shifting through the hip or the low back. Right heel is anchoring to the mat. Right leg is working towards straight through that knee. Any pain, and you back up. One more breath here. Gorgeous. Switch. Going through that squatted position. Now start to press the left heel towards the floor. The left knee works towards straight, but the hips stay in that same shape. Press through the arms, just like you did when we were seated, right? Reaching through the arms, using the delts. 2 more breaths. Keep that left heel anchoring, the left leg working its way towards straight. Awesome. And then walk the dog. Start to pedal through the legs. And even here, see if you can keep the hips themselves centered through the spine. Back of the neck is relaxed, crown of the head working towards your thumbs, and just that action happening in the back line of the body of walking the dog, the back line of the leg. Last one. Gorgeous. Come to down dog with as anchored of a heel as your body will allow, with as straight of a leg as your body will allow. And from there, shift into hovering tabletop, just one breath. Gorgeous. Press through the heels in order to go back into that downward dog. Nice. Shift to hovering tabletop. And then back into that down dog through the legs. Awesome. Shift to hovering tabletop, step or hop up into the squat. Just hold for a breath, checking the shape of the spine. And then you're going to push the hips forward as you start to lift your heart and arms high. Yes, good. Come all the way back up. And arms down. Gorgeous. All right, let's start to move at pace a little bit. Inhale, reach high to the sky. Exhale, squat nice and deep. Good. Take 5 counts for lowering the forehead. Fall and catch. Good. And then for 5, 4, don't touch your forehead yet. You shouldn't even be halfway. 3, 2, 1, tap. Oh, and then push back. Nice. Plant your hands, step back. So good. So good. Take 1 deep breath in, and then exhale, lower your body to the mat. Good. 3, 4, 5 breaths working into that back bend. You can always choose the quality of that back bend, right? Maybe you just rest here for this one. Maybe you go for that big up dog. Doesn't matter. 1 more breath. Beautiful. Relax that action and then press up and back into downward dog. Good. So your level of down dog here. So much great work already done through strengthening hands, wrists, arms, upper body, core, hips, legs, even into the ankles, toes, and feet. You are ready to move. If the heels will sink towards the floor, if the knees will come to straight without disturbing the shape of the spine, beautiful. If not, also beautiful, no problem. Work towards it. Exhale. Inhale, reset your feet if you need to. We're going to move towards the lunges, so maybe the feet a little closer together, just so they're in line with the hips. And then shift to that hovering tabletop. Good. No rush. We're going to do 2 of these pistons. Lift your right foot off the floor as though you want to sit onto your left heel, and then as though you're sprinting through that left leg. Right to straight. Boom. Shoot forward. Again. Boom, shoot forward. Beautiful. Now lunge the foot on the next one. Sit back, launch off the back leg, lunge the foot. Yes. And then you're just going to come up to standing. Don't move the back leg. Just push into the front foot, come all the way up into basically our modified warrior A. Use your arms for balance as you need. If you really want to challenge your balance here, set your hands in reverse prayer behind the heart. And from here, push straight up into the leg. And then as though you want to kneel. Straight up. And as though you want to kneel. And on the next one, actually kneel. Set your knee down. Set your right forearm to your thigh. Good. Allow the hips to soften forward because you're looking to open up the hip on that extended back leg. You're looking to use this shape to do that. So you can even allow the hip to kind of open up, right? The way that it would if you were anchoring the back heel in classic warrior A. Play with that and what your low back will allow. With that beautifully extended connection point of the hip flexor, reach the left arm up, push through the heel of the hand, and do Ardha Chandrasana through that left side. Right from the anchored back knee, creating this beautiful half moon crescent shape. Heart is lifted, arm is reaching up and slightly back behind you in order to really get into the core. Listen to your low back and ease up if you need to there. Breathing. And if you want to add that spiraling action like we were doing at the beginning of class, screwing and unscrewing the light bulb through the hand, working that spiral all the way through the shoulder and shoulder blade, you may find that that really lights up the psoas and the connective tissue, the fascia through there. One more breath. You may also find that it doesn't, and that's fine. Come on out of that shape, plant your hands, step back to downward dog. Awesome. Shift to hovering tabletop. Twice before you lunge, we're going to piston. Lift the left foot, sit back over that right heel, and then push out of the right leg. Good. Sit back. Find the strength of push in that back leg. Yes. And then this time lunge. Push and lunge. Gorgeous. Press into the front foot to come on up to that warrior shape. Using the arms as you need for balance, no problem. Or setting the hands behind the back. Good. As you exhale, lower as though you're going to set that back knee down on the floor, and then come back up. Good. Again, as though you want to kneel. Let that happen through the knees and come back up. Awesome. And then actually kneel. Back knee sits down. Left forearm on the left thigh. Allow the hips to travel forward a little bit. Allow that right hip to open up a little to the side. Explore that shape so that you get the best sensation of the stretch through the psoas. From there, starting Ardha Chandrasana from the back knee all the way through the right side of the body. The right arm starts to come up and over. Right, good. This right hip might shift out to the side a little bit. Opening and spreading through the right ribs, just like when you were doing pipe roll. Good. A little bit of that cobra posture shape through the spine in order to let you arc. And press through the heel of that lifted arm. Press, press, press. Oh, so good. Starting to add that little twist for the last few breaths here. rotating through the lifted arm. Gorgeous, and then come back to that original shape, plant your hands, step back to downward dog. Holding here for 3. Anytime through this flow, by the way, the downward dog becomes a little bit much, feel free to set your knees down, sit back over your heels in child pose to take a break in between this. 2. And 1, good. Shift to hovering tabletop. And back to downward dog. Awesome. Shift to hovering tabletop, checking in with the stability of the core, and back to downward dog. Good. Use tabletop to transition to the squat. Shift to tabletop, step or hop up, squat. Yes, and then heart and arms come high, hips pull through. Boom, arms down. Beautiful. Let's do 2 of these lunge flows. On your inhale, reach high to the sky. Exhale, squat deep, ready to catch your weight. Good. Don't fall so much forward. Fall a little bit straight down under the shoulders. So you'll sort of fall and tap, catch the weight. Good. Just reach a little less far forward when you fall this time. Good. Now, don't go down. Lift the hips up. With hands planted, lift the hips up. Lean a little more into your arms. Lift your hips up. Lean a little more into your arms as though you're going to go into a handstand. Good. From here, try to tap your forehead. Lean a little more into the arms, hips up. Try and tap. Yes. Good. And then come back up, plant your hands, step back into plank pose. Take 1 deep breath in, and then lower to the floor. Good. 2, 3, 4 breaths through this back bend. Gorgeous. Last breath here. And then let go of that shape. Move back into downward dog. Good. Your version of down dog. Very warmed up for it right now. Set the feet a little bit closer together because we are going to lunge. Just so they're hip width apart. Beautiful. And from here, hovering tabletop. Lift your right foot. Piston through the left leg. Lunge the right foot forward. Boom. Awesome. Now from here, you're going to take the back leg up as you come into that kind of Muay Thai kick. Boom, come up and stand. Awesome. Glutes are strong, heart comes up high. Use your arms as you need for balance. And then start to shift from there into Warrior 3. Extending that lifted leg back. The stronger the back leg, the stronger the pose as a whole. It doesn't matter if it comes parallel to the floor. It matters that it's strong and extended behind you. Start to squat into the standing leg. Plant your hands in the back toes. Front foot sweeps back and up, 3-legged down dog. Standing foot is relaxed into the floor. Good, and then shift to down dog. That's gorgeous. Full down dog, big breath in. Shift to hovering tabletop. Lifting the left foot. Lunge that left foot forward by launching off the back leg. And then push straight into that front foot and pull yourself up by kicking that front foot back. Beautiful holds. Once you find your balance, start to work through Warrior 3. The stronger that extended back leg, the better. And then start to squat into the standing foot. Or the standing leg, pardon me. Plant the hands and back foot. Front foot sweeps back and up into down dog. 3-legged down dog. And then plant that foot. Good. Okay, let's move through that as a flow. From full down dog, shift to hovering tabletop. Lift the right foot. Lunge it forward. Inhale, come up. Extend into Warrior 3. Squat into the standing leg. Plant. Front foot sweeps back and up. Down dog. Hovering tabletop. Left foot lunges. Come on up. Boom. Warrior 3. Back leg is strong, strong, strong. Start to squat. Plant the hands and sweep the front foot back and up. Down dog. Good, you got one more in you. Let's do it one more time. Hovering tabletop. Right foot lunges. Come on up. Boom. Find your balance. Extend that lifted leg back. Start to squat. Plant and sweep the front foot back and up. Down dog. Hovering tabletop. Left foot lunges. Come on up. Glutes are on. Awesome. Extend that front leg up, back. Warrior 3. Start the squat. Plant and sweep the front foot back and up. Down dog. Gorgeous. Hold for 2. And 1. Shift hovering tabletop for a breath. Sit back to downward dog. Good. Hovering tabletop, almost like wringing out that movement. Sit back, heels anchor, legs straighten, hips lift. Hovering tabletop. Step or hop to the squat. Lift heart and arms high, hips pull through, and arms back down. Beautiful. How do you feel? Yeah? Are you guys liking this series? That's a loaded question. Do you like or do you really like the I want to know, just for, actually, let's take a break and then let's take that feedback. We'll give you 15 minutes so that, because you're nice and warmed up, if you want to move around for another 5 or 10 minutes, finish off with a few extra postures and rest, please feel free to do that. We'll leave this as a silent space to do so. If you want to chat or do anything else, just head outside, all right?